Everybody was wondering what the update was going to be for Trey Jones, and once we find out what's going on with him, well, seems like it's not as positive as we were hoping. We're going to get to all that and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, hosted by Haize, your number one spot for all things Chicago Bulls.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today, and it's an unfortunate one, man. Trey Jones, who kind of all Bulls fans have really fallen in love with. Like, Trey Jones has the type of game, the mentality that Bulls fans really do love, right? A dog, despite being one of the smallest players on the court, he always gave it defensively for the Chicago Bulls. He also was one of our better offensive players while he was here as well. He was a good rebounder. Like I said, all this despite being one of the smallest players on the court anytime he's on the court. But unfortunately, it seems like now that Trey Jones may not only be out for the remainder of the regular season, that he may be out for the play-in and a possibility of the playoffs as well. Now, this is unfortunate. This is not ideal. This came from KC Johnson. So it's still speculative. Maybe that changes. Maybe we get an update where it changes. But as of right now, it seems like Trey Jones is probably going to be missing the remaining part of the season, the play-in, and maybe the playoffs as well. But there is some positive news in this. For Lonzo, it seems like Lonzo Ball is near a return and possibly getting cleared here soon, which is some good news when it comes down to that. But I think overall, like with this Trey Jones thing, Trey Jones, who played extremely well for the Chicago Bulls, is an unrestricted free agent this offseason and played really well. Right now, I don't think this is injuries, anything that has a chance of lingering on into next season or anything like that. So I doubt it really impacts him in free agency. Of course, it would have helped him to be able to finish free agency and finish it strong and then go into the offseason and really trying to get a deal done or anything like that. But, Trey, and even if he would have been able to play in the play-in, maybe even the playoffs, so the Bulls do make the playoffs, but, it seems like that opportunity and chance could have gotten taken away from him. It's unfortunate. It sucks. But the silver lining here is this, is that it's not anything that threatens the start of his season. It's not anything that should linger on. It's not anything that's going to cause long-term issues or complications for him. It's just because of the amount of time left in the season. That's really where. Now, he was projected to come back with about 4 or 5 games left in the year. We're only a couple of games away from that mark. So him being out the remainder of the season really only adds an additional week. The play-in could be 1 game. The play-in could be 2 games. We don't know. But the fact that it's extending to possibility of the playoffs, that is the part that sucks in all of this. So, so hopefully for a speedy recovery for Trey, you never know. He could go through, a reevaluation and maybe it looks like he's going to come back or anything like that. But as of right now, it does not seem like Trey Jones is going to be making a return for the Chicago Bulls this season, unfortunately. Now, we did have some good news in this as well. It seems like Lonzo Ball is nearing a return back to the basketball court. If you ask me, out of Trey and Lonzo, which one did I think would not return this season, I would have chosen Lonzo, but it seems like he's getting closer and closer to a return and that the updates seem to be more positive than it being setbacks for Lonzo Ball. Now, nothing's guaranteed yet. He's not been cleared as of right now, so there's still a slim chance of him even coming back, but it seems like as it stands right now, Lonzo Ball has a better possibility of returning sooner than what Trey Jones does. And we'll see how that ends up shaking out for the Bulls, especially going into the end of the season in the play-in tournament and things like that. If you can get Lonzo with his defense healthy, especially for the guards that the Cavs have, that can really help the Chicago Bulls, and we'll see what happens when it comes down to that one, man. Cordell in the building says, dang, man, yeah, it sucks. Ill will, damn. Yeah, it definitely sucks, man. The Bulls injury staff, medical staff strikes again. I don't know if that, like, when you look at I don't think that that's the case here. I see there's another comment. When you have the type of injury, and I talked about it when it happened, the type of injury that Trey Jones has is usually a 2 to 4 week turnaround time. They gave it 2 weeks. Even if it goes to the 4 weeks, that's still in the usual turnaround time for that injury. So I don't think this is one of those cases where the Bulls medical staff did something wrong. That's just my personal opinion. But again, medical staff has had enough going on where, you're still not wrong saying that. No, he was doing so good. Amazing here, man. Amazing here. And he could very well not come back. Haize, you just keep getting better, better, bro. Damn, Trey saying ain't. So I appreciate that, man. But yeah, it definitely sucks. It definitely sucks. Damn, that's so unfortunate. It sucks, man. Our medical staff needs to be investigated. Like I said, in this case, the Trey Jones injury specifically, this is the normal turnaround for that type of injury. So I don't think this is where the medical staff went wrong at. I don't think that, but you never know. I know usually with lower extremity injuries, players say it take 2 years to feel comfortable. Do you think Zoe may be even better next season, or is this injury vastly different? Well, he has a whole new knee. So I do think that, like, you always think that you're going to get better each year, right? And so I do think that there's a chance that he feels even better. Like, Lonzo's shot has not been good this season. Now, that could be a mix between the wrists, but also that lift on that shot with him having to do the jump shot. So, another year, another offseason of him feeling more comfortable. You just never know. Chris, the medical team needs to be fired. Well, like I said, this time, I don't really think it's the medical team this time. Well, we know Io's done for the season, so you're not going to get any updates on Io until the offseason. Like, we knew that surgery, it was season ending. There's not a chance that he's coming back. He's out for the season, so it's, you're not going to hear many updates on that one. Does this make it easier to re-sign him in the offseason? We could probably get him at a better deal. Listen, I think that was probably where you're going to get him anyway. And the problem with not the problem, but the thing with Trey is the roster spots. The Bulls only have 3 open roster spots this year. You expect one to go to Josh Giddey, one to go to your first round pick, and then you got a second round pick and then Trey Jones, right? And so that's more so the thing. The Bulls can afford to keep Trey. That's not a problem there. The money isn't the problem with keeping Trey. It's more so, do you need the roster spot? Now, your second round pick can be signed to a 2-way deal. So there's that process, there's that part in it. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Bummer. Feels like this team has been having too many injuries. I mean, it's been a lot of little nagging ones. Matt, Casey Johnson in his mailbag episode reported that today, Matt. So if you want to go watch Casey Johnson's mailbag, he talks about it there. Do you think we bring him back if we have room on a cheaper deal? Yeah, I mean, I think that there's definitely like, the Bulls are not afraid to play a lot of guards, right? Clearly evident this season. And so because of that, I won't say that it's impossible that they decide to bring him back. They also could trade Vooch and include Javon Carter or something like that. So I won't say it's impossible, but just because of the roster spots. I just more so bring up the roster spots because I think that is the biggest hurdle potentially right now in keeping Trey. It's not money. It's not his performance. It's not this injury, but I do think the number of roster spots could be something that you could have to look at there, right? Another foot injury, another player out. Yeah, I mean, it's at least it's not like Patrick Williams' foot injury last year that put him out for the rest of the season. It's not going to be anything, at least not as reported right now, that he's going to need surgery on or anything like that, which is another good thing in the place of positivity. But, we'll see what happens there. Sucks, but next man up if we lose. Lottery, yeah, exactly, right? The Bulls are playing with house money at this point. Like, I know some people are going to look at it differently, but for me, no matter what happens this season in the play-in, whether they lose, they extend, it's win-win. You can pull your own win out of it depending on what happens, right? I remember when Kenny Smith was hobbling and Sam Cassell made his name in the playoffs as a young player. Jewels and Dalen have an opportunity. Jewels, is that what you're calling them? Jewels? That's funny. Have an opportunity. Shout out to my boys over at C-Red UK. My guys over there says, got it for Trey, holding on to hope that the Bulls find a way to bring him back. I would love him back in the Bulls uniform. I think he has the right type of game. He has the right type of mentality. He has the right type of stuff that you want on your team. So at least we get some good news about Zoe. Hopefully he'll be back sooner than later. Like, hopefully you hope that, like, getting Zoe back on the basketball court for the Bulls can't do nothing but help, right? It's not going to hurt the team. We know that for a fact. So yeah, I mean, if Lonzo can come back, great. I hope we do love the way he plays the game. Same. I love Trey Jones and the mentality that he plays with, the way that he gives effort on both sides of the ball, the assist to turnover ratio. I love all of that, right? When Zoe come back, does he start or Kevin? I That's a great question. I think Kevin has played well enough with the starters that you may want to keep him in there. Why mess with the chemistry, especially for the play-in? But then again, Billy Donovan, you might want that defense out there, right? Even though Kevin hasn't really been bad on defense, but you never know with Bubblegum Billy. Dan was hoping Trey was going to be able to play again. Yeah, me too, Patch. Me too. Definitely was hoping he was going to be able to get back out there on the court for our Bulls. But seems like that may not be in the cards for him. But, we'll see what happens next season. Trey's done a hell of a job. He's done nothing on the court that would stop him from being able to be re-signed, right? Like I said, it really comes down to other factors and not just his play and not just money that could make him not be a part of the Chicago Bulls next year. But, let's not talk into existence. We'll knock on wood. We're going to let it be what it's going to be, and we'll see what happens, man. Zoe shouldn't start. Not saying he can't, but no. Yeah, listen, I think why mess with a starting lineup that's been working for you? The starting lineup that you have there has been working for you. So why stop using it now? That's the thought that I have on it. Bubblegum Billy want the D out there as well. First of all, that's crazy. I said defense. Did I say D? For Haize credit, he's been screaming for us to get either Jones, brother, Trip called it years. I have. I mean, but different context. But yeah, I mean, think about it this way. If we did have Trey Jones or even Tyus Jones, maybe Kobe wouldn't have got the opportunity to start as soon as he did, right? Which really helped last year and helped us this year as well, getting off to that trajectory. So everything happens for a reason is all I can say there. But all right, so update just to recap real quick. Trey Jones seems like he is going to be out and miss the remainder of the season, as well as the play-in tournament and possibly the playoffs. Lonzo Ball seems like he could be nearing a return sooner. It's a lot more optimistic around Lonzo and his potential return to the Bulls before the play-in tournament. We just got to see what's going to happen. But you guys know, as soon as anything's officially announced, we'll be here covering it, breaking it all down. Make sure you guys are following us at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. BullCentralPod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, but that's thanks to you, lovely and beautiful people. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.